Whoa. So, good morning, everyone. It's good morning here in sunny Southeast Asia. Just preparing my first live session. So, hopefully it all works out okay. Of course, there's going to be technical issues and just dumbfuck user control issues, because I'm still getting my head around how YouTube best works. Anyway, it is a good morning, a good new week. Hopefully, I've lost our chat, so I don't think I've got any users, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, it's the start of the new week, start of good things, hopefully, for this week. Markets started off, here we go, here's the opening here. So I've done my levels already because I was a bit, I wanted to work out a couple of things first. So I've already done my levels. Now I've got a video on how I do my levels. I actually cheat a bit because I've got a little tool that I've built myself that actually puts the levels already in there. But I've shown you guys how to do it manually using the fixed range profile, the inbuilt trading view tool. So you can use that for the weekly. So what I do is the previous week, which is this one represented in purple here. And if you can see that, it's Monday, 11th of May, 6 a.m. This is my time in Southeast Asia. So that is Sunday night, 6 p.m. for you guys, through to last candle for me on Friday night, 5 p.m. for you guys, which is Saturday, 5 a.m. in the morning for us, as in Asia, etc. Anyway, so that's drawn out. I've got plotted my points for that previous week. Then I've got Friday's full overnight session, which is, let's slightly out by a minute. Let's change that now. That should be on 6. Sorry, what have I done there? That should be on 6 a.m. exactly, through to 21:30. So it's 6 a.m. my time, 6 p.m. on Thursday night for you guys, for US, and that goes through to 21:29 or 9:29 a.m. on Friday morning for the start of the US New York session. Same with, and this is a previous day, which is 9:30 a.m. on Friday morning through to it's not last candle, but 3:59, 4 p.m. on Friday night. Okay, and that produces our levels for previous day. So we've got the previous day value high, the previous day POC, point of control, the previous day value low, same for the overnights. So the overnight value high, the overnight POC, wherever that is here, and the overnight value low. So that's our points of interest all mapped out and plotted on our charts and we're starting a new fresh week. So here we go. So, and of course what I do then is I create the current session. So show you what that is. So starting 6 a.m. my time, or 6 p.m. Sunday night for you guys in the US, Eastern Standard Time. So, and I'll change that to session. So I've really gone through that quickly because I wanted to get up and running straight away. So go back on my previous video and you'll see how I'm doing it manually, producing those plot points, those points of interest for our historical high time frame data points. So what's the plan? The plan is, let's watch the market. Let's see what it does. Like the first half an hour or so, which we've sort of been through already, has sort of played out. So we opened straight up. Look at this. This is why we do these points, guys. It's gone straight up and it's hit the overnight point of control, overnight POC. Look at that. Magically, straight up, bang, straight down. So it's hit it, it's reacted to it, it's gone straight down. And it's now creating a developing profile for this session. So I won't actually be using this at the moment to trade off, like hits this, bounces up. It's just too new. It's the data's too new. So what we're going to do is react around these points, the historical points. So if I was a bit quicker, I probably would have looked possibly at a trade here. Problem is that's only 13 ticks, not really doing much at the moment. So I'm just going to wait a bit and watch the development. Ideally, what I would like to be doing is probably trading off here or trading off here. Now, the only problem with this is I tend to hesitate a bit if it's already hit that, already reached that. I might even be looking at, depending on how we go, might even be looking at maybe even here, if we get a bit of a bounce through here, a strong couple of candles, maybe a retest from here up to here. This is probably the trade I'd be looking at for longs, and for shorts I'd probably be more interested in down here, and possibly a long back up, or depends on strength, maybe even a reaction, looking at the reaction here, looking for a potential short down to here. We'll just watch and see what happens. At the moment, just sitting back. You don't have to. That's the beauty of volume profiles. You're not waiting all day for a friggin' one chance and one chance only and then going in. There's multiple opportunities, not just through the day, but even through the sessions, through the hour even. So that's why I like trading the volume profiles. I'm not looking for every trade, I'm looking for the right trade. Now this purple line is just the open, the previous day, so Friday's close. So this is where it closed at. Now I've only got that there really for visuals, conceptually wise, rather than using it for any point. That's just there. So here we go, we've got a big strong candle now. What's the time? That's the time, 6:38. Okay. So the 7 o'clock, I'll probably look more at trading the 7 a.m. My time, which is 7 p.m. you guys. That's considered the Australian Open. So, well, there's a few things to play out. So if I see the right opportunity and right trade opportunity to enter, I will. But I'm just doing a bit of a wait and see what the market wants to do for now. Let it have its fun and games, and we'll see what we're going to do. So it'll be interesting up here. What's going to happen? So that's a pretty strong reaction there. So see how we've gone through. We're still developing this session, this profile. So don't even care about any of these targets. Just waiting for data to build in here. So we've got a bit more information to go off later on. So this is why I don't like trading. I wouldn't probably consider trading this one just yet. Just want to see what it's doing and reacting at around those. If that had gone down, look, saying that probably would have been a pretty good opportunity to trade that. So here we would have done probably a long from here. Target, how many points is that? So what I like to do is I like to just do 50 ticks, just some quick scalping. Yeah, so that one I probably, look, it would have been a pretty good trade in looking at it. So I could have done that, could have targeted that. I just don't like, I would have preferred the opportunity to put stop loss down here. May have been, look, if I was a bit more prepared, I may have looked at a bit more sold on it, because that's a very strong candle through there. I probably wouldn't have though, because I probably would have waited. I would have hoped for a retrace back, but that just went straight through. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have traded that, but you know, if a different situation during the day, if a bit more data here, I might have looked at that, but for now that one wouldn't have, I wouldn't have traded that. Yeah, so I'm looking really just for some quick in and out scalps, taking opportunity. And the other thing is, because we were, anyway, why am I trying to justify that? I wouldn't have traded that. One, timing, and two, I just wasn't ready for that one. Anyway, so my next level will be, as I said, we'll see what happens around here. We might get a reaction again straight down from here. So I'll watch it. Like if I get that candle through there, again, I'm not probably going to take it unless I get a retest. A retest from that. But this could very well do the same thing. Just bounce straight off it, come back down. And in that regard, I probably would look at a short off that again. 50 points. Sorry, 50 ticks. Possibly something like that. And the only thing with that is I just don't like doing these with no, because I like putting my stop loss behind a point of interest, like behind that. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Certainly looking like it will be targeting here. Now, what I do is I trade I produce my charts and analysis on the mini, on the NQ, and depending what I'm trading, is if I'll trade the NQ or the MNQ, which is hidden here. Now, because I'm trading, I'm just doing some evals. So I had a shit week last week, so I'm already down a bit on these 5, and I copy trade. So I'll be copy trading my 5 apex evals. That's what I'll be trading for starters. So I'll on evals I'll usually target. I'll usually trade from the NQ because I want to just try and get in and get out of these evals as quick as I can. So I trade a bit more with a bit more risk, the NQ. On the, if it was my funded accounts, I'll probably drop down to MNQ and trade the micros, just with a little risk off. So I'll probably again I'll copy trade, but I'll reduce my risk a bit just because I want to obviously try and hang on to the funded accounts. What else about my setup? Now, also, what I like to do is I've built my own little tool here for orbs, which is the opening range breakout. And the first one is that 7 o'clock orb I will watch, which is the Australian Open. So at 7 a.m. my time, 7 p.m. your time, I will trade. I will watch the orb, not so much the breakout, but just where it is in relation to our points of interest, our plotted historical data points. These are the things I'm monitoring really. So I hope that makes sense. Now I don't know where's my chat. Okay, sorry, just watching that. Okay, so what are we looking at doing here? So it's just building the data, building the volume, and this is where the developing session information is building here. So it's very spread out, so there's no stark profile, no obvious profile built yet. Just got to see where the market takes us. So all of that. Now for starters, I just want to win because I've had a couple of losses last week, so I'm just going to ease into it. I'll probably just trade. I'll trade one contract. So I don't know if you see that, but it says 5. But because I'm copy trading 5 accounts, it's 1 contract per account. So that's why you put in 5 in Tradeovate. So it will be one contract. And I'll be doing a quick in and out. Scalp for 12.5 points or 50 ticks. So how are we going to go? It looks like we'll probably head into the 7 o'clock Open, the Australian Open I call it. I don't even know if it is officially called the Australian Open. I'm from Australia, so I like to think that the data is Australian. The Asian Open, the official Asian Open is at 9 o'clock my time, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the Tokyo Open, which is the official sort of Asian Open. So that is where the real action takes place. But I like to get a trade or two if I can before then, Hope so. Hoping. It's a bit more volatility. Everyone says the Asian market is so slow, so boring, but you see, trust me, and because that's why I'm only doing like 50 tick scalps. Unless I can get 2 contracts in and possibly do a bit of a runner or watch on a bit of a runner, I just want to ease myself into it, especially the start of the week. God knows what's happening. But everyone says there's no volume in the Asian market. But look, the way I trade, it's sort of enough for me. Like, I've tried the New York Open. I've got smashed on the New York Open. It's not the right timing anyway, because that's 9:30. I'm done by 9:30 at night. So that's the time when the New York session opens for me. I'll try to be out of trading by then. The AG needs a bit of rest by that time of the night. So I don't really trade the US New York Open that much. I do enough damage myself on the Globex, like on the Asian opening. So I just stick to that. And as I said, the beauty of the way I sort of trade, for me anyway, is I see opportunities all the time. Don't take them all. Definitely don't take them all. To be honest, I only take 2 or 3 trades a day, hopefully, unless I did what I did last week and overtraded. So I'm going to make all the mistakes. Everyone says, oh, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that. I'll make them. So that's actually why I built this channel, because I want to be able to make myself a bit more accountable and try and stop some of these stupid bloody errors I'm making. So I don't want to overtrade. I don't want to revenge trade, and I don't want to don't want to over extend my trades, my entries, with too big a risk. So I'm going to make myself accountable one way or another. So if anyone out there feels like trading with me, following along, you're more than welcome to come and have a look, and we'll see how we go together. This isn't going to work. So what are we doing, market? What are we doing? So we're coming to see the previous look. It does have some bearing. I do plot it. I don't really use it for anything, just for monitoring where the market is. Obviously, this purple dash is for it's for the open. The previous day's close. So it does react around this, like it has been reacting around it. I don't necessarily use it other than just monitoring. Look, if we're above it, it means we're market's still reasonably strong. Just gives you a little bit more conceptual information. Now, things I've got on my chart, I'm probably pretty messy. I've got the 14 EMA, 250. I sort of just use those again just for conceptual visual points of interest. So we're under the 200, so we're sort of in a bit of a downtrending market at the moment, as we've seen from last week's highs. So that's telling us that, and we're just in this current 1 minute, because I'm only on the 1 minute. So and on the 1 minute we're above the well, I'll show you what I've got. So we've got the VWAP. So we're above the VWAP, we're above the 50, and I don't even really need that anymore. I don't really use that anymore. So we've just got the 200, the 50, the VWAP, and I have got, as we'll see when Australia opens, I've got my orb layout ready to go. So after 7:05, it will plot the range for the orb. So we'll see what that sort of brings up. So it's pretty slow opening. Got that one decent candle there. But other than that, we haven't really seen much movement. It's just building. My friend Mr. Trump hasn't announced anything too drastic. So you do see a bit of that in the Asian session. Trump just coming out with a tweet. Guys, I'm not really set up properly for monitoring the news. I don't really, unless there's something obvious, I don't trade the New York session, so I don't really care about the news too much. The thing that does happen is you get the Trump wicks, I call them. Mr. Trump wicks. Here we go, we've got a bit of movement here. That's a nice candle down. What is the time? So 4 minutes to the Australian Open. There's a bit of movement here, a bit of volume. So it'll probably start building a bit of volume in this area. But as you see, there's nothing, it's pretty spread out. If it's heading in one direction, you'll see what's called a P sort of setup, like it might be that sort of shape. That's suggesting, a P will suggest that the volume is sort of in the longs. If it's a B, so it's like, where's my drawing tools? Oh god, you're going to see my, like this sort of, that's called sort of a P when it's sort of building around this area. That's more a stronger to the long side, potentially. And if it's a B, it will, if it's a B, you'll see it building here, so more short information, or more short volume is building. So at the moment it's just all over the place, just building, suckering everyone in. I want that on there. I don't know if I want that on or not. I'll keep it on for now. So, am I actually plotted? Yes. Am I? So I'm just checking what account I'm in. Okay. What are we going to do? 7 o'clock is coming up. 2 minutes to 7 o'clock, so we'll see what sort of action we get. What else can I tell you? I also, from that video, actually I'll drop the link in the chat, for my setups, my volume profile setups. I also do the current present week profile, so from Monday through to Friday, but there's no use putting it on the chart now. On Wednesdays, I'll do a chart which will be basically what we're doing now, the start of Monday session slash the new day Monday session, which will be my current week. So there's no use putting in and using that information until on Wednesday usually, so middle of the week, then the data's a bit stronger. So there's no need to put that on the chart at the moment, but because it's only Monday, so I'm already monitoring that with the overnight, the previous days, and the current session. So just giving you a heads up there. Look, some people go a bit crazy and starts putting on monthly sessions. Look, they probably work. I don't know. My chart's messy enough. I probably overcomplicate things a bit I put too much information on the chart, so I don't need more clutter, because you just sort of get in a bit of a procrastination stage and you're looking for things and you don't even end up trading. So I try and keep it simple, but I do have it a bit more info on the chart than probably I need, and probably to confuse people, but that's just what I need. So sometimes I also run just for my own benefit, I like seeing, and I use the Lux algo for this, smart money concepts. I don't really trade smart money concepts as such, but I just like seeing the higher highs. Have I got that plotted? And the change of characters, information like that, just so I can quickly see at a glance. The other thing I will use fair value gaps to really mess up the charts. I will use those not for points of entry, but mainly points of take profit, actually. So I'll put that on as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And I've just got a volume candle monitor. See these candles here? This is institution stepping in. So the only candles I really look at, and we'll probably see. Actually, we're 2 minutes in and the market's doing nothing. Usually at these times, the Australian Open will see some bigger candles if there's any interest in institutions stepping in. You'll definitely see these. Well, you should see these sort of candles, these volume candles, stronger volume candles around the Tokyo Open. So we've got an hour to go for that, so a long way off. So as we can see, there's not much happening. Not much happening at all at present, which is fine. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, actually. So I don't go in with any bias. I don't go any bias. I just want to see what it does at the previous day value low. So that's this candle here. So previous day, which is the New York session, the last session on Friday. So we could certainly look at a trade opportunity here. I just don't know where the market's going at the moment. I feel it's going to go higher. So I'm sort of, if anything, looking for a bounce off here up, and I only need 50 points. I'll bring it down here. I really want my stop loss below though. So I could do a bit of a riskier 100 point. Sorry, 100 tick. I'll look at something like that maybe. Which makes sense. Got to go through a bit of... Because as we see here, this POC is starting to... I'm not feeling this trade because the POC's sort of coming down, so it actually is leading me to suspect that the market might attempt to go down. Yeah, here we go. So if that retests back here, I just don't like... in hindsight, probably a short might not have been too bad. Alright, so we've set up the 5-minute orb for the Australian breakout, and it is showing that strength, so that strength to the downside. If I'd have been a bit more switched on, I would have got it. That's why I don't have a bias. I've got to trade from what you see. Could have done that, could have traded that. We would have won it too. So that would have been a pretty good trade. Like you would have... Trouble is, I probably wouldn't have, to be honest, I probably wouldn't have. I wanted, because it was 7 o'clock, I wanted to see what it does. So I would have had to have. And I just don't trust. Look, I trade a bit, not just purely on a point of entry, but I trade a bit on gut feel as well. Okay. Has done it. So the ideal trade would have been that. Come in, wait for the retest back up, and then set up your trade. Set your stop loss above the point of control, and try to get that quick tick. And look at that, it's freaking off to the races now. Look at that. So in hindsight, that was a smart way to go. The developing POC is starting to head lower, was starting to head lower. We have got some volume coming in now after the Australian Open. And that strength candle through the orb, that 5-minute orb breakout, was suggesting strength. So yeah, anyway, whatever. Don't feel you have to take every trade. Go when you're comfortable. I wasn't quite feeling it. Feeling it now. That would have been a nice little start to the day. Yeah, so we're definitely got a bit of a downside here, and so I wouldn't have been targeting this like from here to here. Some people do, and look, to be honest, maybe they make more money targeting the bigger return on investment. entries. If I was feeling it, might have made 2 contracts, got out after the 50 and let it after my take profit 1 and let it run a bit. But that's okay. We won't get them all. I will miss more than I ever get into, which is fine. So really now, rather than sort of trade into this, I'll be looking for the extremities of our historical points of interest. So I'll be looking at the moment, if it comes down here, I'll probably be looking for depends on the candle strength in here, I'll probably be looking for a trade up along from this region here. So let's see if this goes back into the orb. So this is the only real reason just visually it just helps me conceptualize what the opening range is doing and how it interacts. Quite often you'll see this bounce off here, bounce off the lower part of the orb, or if it goes straight through, we'll see how it interacts inside. So I probably suspect, just sort of looking at the info, I think we'll probably go in here and we'll spend a bit of time in the orb, which will create a couple of opportunities to trade from here again. So I missed the first one down, but there might be some opportunities in here, because that's like, how many ticks is that? That's 30. Oh, here we go. I've got 32 points. So we can do have some interesting times in there. So let's just wait, monitor, no rush. Okay, so see how this is sort of pretty even throughout. This is actually building a bit of strength down here, but there's no structure really presenting itself at the moment. So market's just doing a bit of a wait and see. So we'll let the market build. Let's get some volume in, and let's see if we can find some good trading opportunities. That's why I like trying to get this first entry, because now we're going to be waiting to see how it reacts here at our, what is that? I can't even read it. That's the previous day highs. So we're going to watch, see if it just sweeps this area. If it goes through with a bit of strength, then we're probably looking at a long opportunity. Now, I'm not going to explain Elliott wave, but I've done a bit with Elliott wave, so Elliott wave is very good if you can read it. It's not really a great tool for using to scalp off or use it that way, but it's a great little roadmap to just see where you are in the market. I'll spend a bit of time on Elliott waves at some point. I like using Elliott waves. A lot of people won't, and they'll poo-poo it, which is fine. But it does give a bit of a projection if you know how to use Elliott waves properly. It does give you a bit of a roadmap where the market sort of. An Asian session can be quite technical, so it can stick to some of the technical points of the Elliott wave. I won't go into Elliott waves now. That'll confuse everyone totally. But has anyone got some experience with Elliott waves in the chat? Yeah. Okay. Whilst we wait for the market to do what the market does, which is not much sometimes, what can I tell you? Why Apex? Okay. I'm currently in Southeast Asia, and some of the prop firms have just taken or just put where I'm living. I'm living in Philippines, in Manila, in Makati, Manila. They've put us on the ban list, which is a pain in the ass. So Apex hasn't yet. There's a couple other prop firms I'm investigating that are that I can open accounts with and get evals, no problems, payouts, no problems. But Apex at the moment is the best one for me. So the beauty of Apex is it's cheap to buy in. So I burn through evals because I'm trying to copy trade for starters, and I don't mind burning through Apex because they're cheap. Like I think they're about $40, 40 US for a 50k end of day drawdown account. This is their new accounts they've changed, and they're much better. Like I did have some old hybrid ones, or not hybrid, what do they call them? Like the original ones, which were okay, but everyone hated them. So they've actually upped their ante, and Apex are pretty good now. Apex, I hate their friggin' platform, but because it doesn't give you information that you need, like where you actually, what you draw. Like it doesn't give you any live positions of where your accounts are at. Lucid's great. Lucid's probably the best for that. They've got a really good system, but unfortunately Lucid and Take Profit Trader, they're my favourite ones. I was trading using them in Australia late last year. They were really good, but now I'm in Southeast Asia. I'm a bit stuck. I can't use those, which is a bit of a pain. But with the other good thing with Apex, you can have 20 funded accounts. So 20 funded, 50 50k accounts, you can do some damage with that. So I've only got 5 at the moment, 5 funded accounts which I'm using. I had a bad week last week, so I'm giving them a bit of a break for now. I want to get some more evals funded so I can start trading my funded accounts again. As I said, I copy trade, so which is good and it's bad. There'll be people that will say, don't copy trade, you'll lose. In one mistake and you're stuffed, and that's true. That's why the idea is to try and stick to a disciplined plan. But once they work pretty well. Once they don't, you can do some damage. So you got to be really disciplined, and that's really why I'm creating this channel, because I want to make myself a bit more accountable. Sick of losing evals or accounts. What else can I tell you? Yeah, so Yeah, that's why I like Apex. Apex are good. Apex are good. Look, I haven't even got any affiliate codes yet, so I'm not one of these ones that are going to flog a course. Everyone else does that. They can do that. I'm not really interested in flogging courses. I wouldn't mind getting some affiliate codes once I get a couple of these lives up and running. I'll approach Apex, Lucid, Take Profit Trader, and I'll try and get some codes for you guys mainly. I won't look. I'm not going to make money out of this YouTube channel. I understand that. That's fine. I'm doing it for different reasons, but I'll give back where I can. Once I can, if I can get a bit of a community going, that'd be great. One, I would like to feed off you guys in terms of just information. I'll share my knowledge. God, you guys will probably be better traders than me, some of you, and probably give me some pointers. So I'd like to build a community where we can grow together. That is the plan. So once I get some... Okay, we've made a lower low here. What's going on with that? Must have turned it off, did I? What the hell is it? Show swing structure, show swing points. Where is it? So I'm just looking for... You don't need this. Don't buy Lux Algos. Well, you certainly don't need it if you trade like me with the volume profile. You don't really need it, but it is a good little tool if you're doing, I guess, smart money concept stuff. That's worth buying. But there is a free version of the smart money concepts, which is all I'll probably need. I did buy this because I was getting some information from it. Where is it? What I'm looking for is it tells you... I thought that was it. Bullish structure, bearish structure. And it marks, it paints the... I'll look at it later. It paints the lower lows, higher highs, just so I can visually see them. Because I know it clutters up the chart a bit, but I like seeing... oh, it is showing it. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. It is doing it. Oh yeah, sorry. It's just not showing the internal ones. So we've got a bit of a bear. A bit of downward traction and volume going on here. I think this is probably my next target down here. So I'll probably look... I just want to see what sort of... how... There's a fair bit of volume going here, so I'm a bit worried. If it was just coming down slowly, I'd look at it, maybe an opportunity to just tag this and go straight up. But there's a fair bit of volume heading down, so I want to see what it does here. Again, I'm happy to just let... If my idea of a trade entry with confidence doesn't come off, I'm happy to just let it go and just watch the market. So I hope that's not too boring for you guys. So there's a bit of volume here. $132, I'm on the NQ. Will this just tag it and rip up? Maybe. Maybe. What are we going to do? The other reason I'm just a bit unsure how to play this just yet. There is a reasonable fair value gap down here. Okay, so where we got stop loss? Stop loss would be 132. Could be building a bit of a bear flag here. Yeah, so see how that's gone straight through? That's not... Again, I was hoping for a bounce up. That's just gone straight through. Which is fine. So I probably have changed, well, I definitely have. We're now looking at maybe chasing the previous week value low. Let's see what it does here. Probably looking at a short at the moment. Not probably, definitely looking at a short at the moment. Just want to see what it does here though. That's probably my opportunity here. Just a bit unsure. And this is where it's a bit more gut feel than anything. See, that could have been a good opportunity there. Anyway, as you can see, look, I'm still building the confidence around reading some of the action. My experience, how long have I been trading? Well, basically, I've been in crypto. I was in crypto 2017, so I've been in crypto a fair bit. So I've got more experience with crypto side of things. That's another, got back there again. That would have been a nice retest. And crypto is totally different, as everyone probably knows. But I wasn't so much trading 2017. I was more in the ICO and hodling sort of part of crypto, but I went to along the way I was learning the trading side of things, and last 3 years I've been trading crypto, day trading crypto. So that would have been pretty nice little entry point. Might have even stretched that out to 100 and just taken a bigger risk with it. maybe even into that fair value gap stop loss. 75 points. I'm just doing 1-to-1. But I blew my account last year. Like I've blew my crypto futures, my BTC account last year. So I thought, you know what, I did all right last year of crypto trading. In some ways, I actually find it a bit easier than NAS futures, Forex, just because I've had so much experience in the crypto space. So I'm still doing crypto. I might bring some crypto stuff into this channel at some point, but for now I just want to concentrate. I want to build futures, NAS futures. I want to get myself better at this. So so for the last basically 6 months I've been doing, so that would have got us nearly out. There we go. That would have got us our little win there. A bit of hesitancy there, Mr. AJ, but that is okay. I don't want my first trade to be a loss if I can help it. But if it is, it is. That might have been a nice little trade. But this is why these areas are really important. And this is why it does make sense to trade volume profile. Rather than all the buzz stuff like ICT and all that rubbish. Look, I'm not saying it's rubbish. I shouldn't say that. People make good money from it. It's just so complicated. I'm dumb. I just like trying to find a system that works for me, that is pretty straightforward, that I've got many opportunities to trade throughout the day. That's why I like sort of investigating this strategy a bit better. Anyway, if anyone's out there and took those trades, good on you. Chuck a win in the chat. Why not? Let's celebrate someone. Might not be necessarily me. Might not be necessarily AJ. Congratulations, but I'm happy to celebrate anyone who's winning in this market. Where was I going? Yeah, so I've been trading this sort of, not even 6 months really, basically since October-ish, November-ish. Oh, I suppose that is 6 months. Last year when I was in Australia, it was good. I was using some of my boring crypto style trading, which was sort of working, and I'm trying to work out, maybe I should have stick more to that, which is very simple. But I was doing, I won't talk about it here because it doesn't even apply in, but I was using a bit of hedging with BTC. So here in futures you can't do it anyway. That's how you lose accounts, obviously. So it doesn't apply, but I've still got my ways of trading crypto, which I will still do, and that's basically how I'm surviving at the moment with crypto. But I would like to have this second pillar of income coming through, which is NAS. So I'm happy to spend a bit of time learning on this and going through and going into the NAS futures trading market. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the chart at the same time. So we're slowly building some, see if you can see the lighter or the darker zones. So we're building a bit of volume up here, building a bit of volume down here, but it's very even. There's no, even though we are definitely in a declining, bearish sort of market at the moment. I'm probably still looking at targeting this area, and I might look at basically a pull down, back up, and maybe a short from here down, targeting this area. So as long as I've just got to see the direction of the market, where I think it's going, to make a trade. Like I won't, I don't think it's going to come up and revisit these levels at the moment, short term. I think we are still in a bit of a downward trend, obviously. So my bias, which I don't like saying, because I only need 50 points. So if I was convinced that this was going to go up to here, which it could, I'm just not convinced, but that's a 15 points, which is enough. I only need 12.5 points, which is 50 ticks. So it probably is a good chance that would have hit, but it's what's coming up after. I just don't see it. Saying that, there you go, would have hit. So if I was a bit more switched on, I could have taken this trade down and even taken this trade up to get that. So that would have been 2 wins. But AJ's not switched on a Monday morning yet. And it's easy to say all this stuff in hindsight. I still think we're going to test our lows down here, the weekly lows down here. It's just so far from open though. So I wouldn't be surprised if this does hit here, bounce up, and go target back to the POC, the developing POC, and the previous day values up there. What's the time? So we've got 24 minutes to Tokyo opens. I'd like to try and get a trade already sort of in. There's nothing worse than having a trade sitting in with Tokyo coming up, Tokyo Open coming up, because if there's going to be volume in the market, that's where the volume will be. Alright, so we're starting to build a bit of volume down here. So the more volume that comes down here, what will happen is this blue line, which signifies the sessions developing value lows, will more than likely drop. And hence this will get dragged down as well, the POC, the volume. So I thought we might sit up here more and sit in between, because that's a pretty good range. That's 37 points. But the market didn't want that. The market wanted to go down. So the next orb I will watch is a Tokyo 5-minute orb. So 8 o'clock to 8:05, that range of candles, we'll see what that does. That's looking like it will be lower down here, so the market's more likely to stay down in this area unless in the next 20 minutes we get some volume up into here. So that's why I'm sort of thinking we're still looking at probably there's a bit more potential to go lower. Now I'm sort of at decision point now. If there's a retest back up to here, I might consider the shorts. But now the volume's in and not giving me that opportunity back in to target our value low, historical previous week value lows. So I'm being cautious, guys. I know. Boring trading, AJ. That's boring trading, but bad luck. I want to get some trades in, some winning trades. So it's not about how many trades you make. It's about choosing the right trades. So I think everyone's learned that, surely. So if this doesn't get swept, yeah, it's been swept, bummer. It's still meaning that we're heading lower. I think we're chasing this area. We've got the previous day low, and we've got previous week value. So isn't that interesting? See how the previous day low, it might be the same actual point, but it's just interesting. That's where the whole previous week's value low was. The low value, where the value is sitting down low, is at the same point. Yeah, so I think we're definitely targeting here. I would just like to have seen a bit of a play around here, and then I probably would have gone in. But so what I could do is target a. Yeah, it's still going down. I think I've missed this. There's not much lower. It's not much, no historical points of interest for me really. So here I would like to probably, if it comes here, I'd like to do a long back up. Well, sheesh, that's a candle and a half. So it's just strange that being before Tokyo. That's what I expect to see Tokyo. Wonder if can anyone in the chat tell me if there's anything going on? Has there been a bit of a Trump tweet? What the hell do you say? So this, I don't like playing when there's no historical points of interest for me, no previous weekly lows or highs or anything like that. I don't like playing in this area. That would have been the trade though, this one. Yeah, that probably would have been the ideal trade. We're getting lower lows. We tested tested back up, retested back up, and it's come straight through. So that would have been the trade there, I think. And look at that. Sheesh. Ching ching for someone. Someone is making money. Unfortunately, it's not AJ just at the moment. See, if this had been last week, I would have traded some of these. And hindsight, I probably would have done okay. But I wasn't feeling it. I was not feeling it. So now I'm caught because we're coming up to Tokyo Open. I don't want to be whipsawed out of this. How long have we got? What's the time? I've got 20 minutes. And where's my... If I did a... Let's play around here for a bit, guys. Please, please, please. Market, Mr. Market Maker. Play around here. Let it play around here a bit. I want to see some volume down here. Because there's no reason to suspect that this is going to... Maybe there is. There's a bit of volume in the market. What sort of drop is that? I've got 75 points. Who says there's no volume in Asia, in the Asian sessions? Mm-hmm. If this was Tokyo, I'd be more confident to do stuff. But with the lead up to Tokyo, you can get that one candle on Tokyo Open. So I'm being hesitant, I know. Let's just play this out. I'm sort of looking for a pullback to here. And then continue up. Because we didn't sweep this area yet. Look, I'm happy to miss if my plan doesn't work out precisely. Just for now. I'm happy to miss trades. My inner head is telling me I should have traded here. I should have traded wherever the other one was. And to be honest, I probably would have traded here. Bounce back into the fair value gap, looking to get up there. How much would that have been? $26 points. So I probably would have done that. But that's fine. Sometimes in ahead AJ works. Sometimes in ahead AJ gets spat out. So, what's our developing volume looking like here? It's only got like, what is that, 6 o'clock to, it's only got an hour and a half worth of data. So I'll start considering using these points, the POC, etc. As we get around midday for me, so sort of 6 hours leading into sort of pre-London, I'll start adding a bit more weight to these points. But for now, this is just a watch and see. Now, this is what I like seeing. So we didn't hit here. Like, see how we didn't, there was no reaction. It got to a fair value gap here. Because it didn't get there, I would like to think that we might probably hit here again. There might be an entry opportunity to go from here and target up there. So I might take a long there. It's a counter trend, I know, but these are the things you sort of pick up along as you go. But I want to see what it does here. Ideally, I want to see a bit of volume ranging here, just setting up here. Alright, so if this sweeps here and actually hits the overnight value low, that little plan is dead and buried. But whilst we haven't tagged it, and it looks like we're going to tag it now, that could have been a trade. If it came down here, I would have probably gone long up to there. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm I haven't got set rules, so this is why I wouldn't do a course or anything like that. And throw that on there, because it's my way of sort of trading is a bit gut feel, a bit just price action reading, bit of everything. So Sometimes, like now, I'm a bit indecisive because I'm not convinced. But if that had to come down here, I would have taken that. But see how now, see, this is the importance of these levels. I keep saying it. Look, it's, every time it's reacting on it. It's doing something at this point, at these points. Like even this, it's gone up and hit this target and gone, and it knows people trade. Like we're talking about market makers, the big players that have got, they know these areas and they know people do watch them. So they'll be hoping to entice people in here, hit there, and people will be probably thinking, oh, it's going to bounce. And of course, rather than bounce, it's hit it with volume, so that's why I'll look at it a bit different. But it's hit it at volume, and the next candle's gone straight through. So anyone who's thinking, oh, we're in short still, put your stop loss, set your stop loss up here. This is looking like a winner. Bang, does the opposite. So this is what I like seeing, a bit of volume here. Now, again, I'd be looking at trade here, but because Tokyo's 10 minutes away, I don't want to be in a trade. I don't want to be in a trade just yet. I've missed my opportunity to get in between that 7:15 to 7:30, 7:40 sort of gap where I like to try and get a trade in. I've sort of missed that window, which is fine. It's just making boring content, but that's okay. Hopefully some of my instincts sort of start shining through and people start sort of getting a feel for it. See, this is, if it wasn't for Tokyo, I'd be looking for, we've tested the value, the new session value low. We've tested the overnight value. This is a perfect chance where set your stop loss above this candle into this fair value gap maybe, and taken that entry once it's sort of gone past the body there. That would have been the short opportunity I would consider. But just with 50. Yeah, something like that. So once that candle reacted, there we go. But I would have probably preferred this up here. So targeting, whatever that is. 1-to-1. I'm looking just 1-to-1s at the moment. Yeah, so I would have been, AJ, you would have lost. Oh, not yet. That would be what I would be looking at trading if we weren't coming up to Tokyo. So the Tokyo bell may have saved me here. Sort of makes sense though, because this is the Australian Open. The Tokyo Open does like to sort of set up a range, so we chop between here and the Tokyo orb range sometimes. So it does sort of make sense to go up here a bit. I still like this trade. Hindsight. If only you could trade with hindsight in mind. Well, you sort of can, because you can see where the market wanted to take it. It wanted to take it down to these lows. Wanted to sweep the previous week value lows. That was where the market wanted to go. That's where the Mr. Market Maker and Mrs. Market Maker wanted to take it. And nothing's really convincing me that we want to change directions. We're still in that. We're still in the downward trend. And so that potentially could have been a good trading opportunity there. There's a bit more equity value down here. We've got the previous weekly volume again. A bit hesitant today, wasn't I? Anyway, that's okay. That is okay. 5 minutes to go till Tokyo. So let's see what happens in Tokyo. Let's see what happens for Tokyo. So how was everyone's weekend? You guys in the US are lucky. You still got a bit of your weekend left, which is great. I was down the local sports bar here, and there's a lot of Americans in the sports bar. A few Aussies watching the footy. My team, I went to watch the footy. My team is so bad. I follow the AFL. And most of you Americans probably got no idea what the AFL is, but I follow the AFL, so I went down and watched my team, who is utterly shithouse. Excuse my French. That's the other thing with my channel. I may drop the odd swear word or two, so if you're a bit sensitive on that front, you're not likely to like well, most Australians, because we do swear a bit. We're a bit uncouth, if that's the right word. Yeah, so there was a lot of Americans. Don't really see the Americans. Well, I think you guys, if your sporting schedule is a bit different. Australian sporting times are usually not too bad because we're only 2 hours difference in Australia to Philippines here, or Southeast Asia. So our sport sort of is okay. Here we go. We're at the previous weekly value low. We hit it. We bounce straight off. Even if that doesn't continue down, it just shows you how important these levels are, guys. You know what? The good thing is with the volume profile, I've done a little bit with ICT. It's too messy, not confusing, because it's a good, actually, I'll take it back. ICT is actually good to learn. You can waste some serious time on it, but it just teaches you structure. It teaches you how to read the market and price action. So I'm not saying it is don't use it, don't follow it, because it does really give you a good structure, a good base. It just didn't really work for me, other than the fact it's given me some really good knowledge on reading price action. But look at this. It's gone down, tagged the previous weekly value low, gone straight up again, and it looks like it's going to at least tag the overnight value low in that area anyway. So this would have been another good opportunity to drop along in. But I'm just too conscious of Tokyo. I've been burnt too many times. with the Tokyo Open candles, because these are decent sized candles. That's a decent. This is a 1 minute candle. Whoops. What am I doing? What am I doing? Sorry. Oh, fuck's sake. Excuse my French. Again. This is a. Did we say it was 75? There's 56 points. That's not bad. And if it was a different time or place, that would have been a perfect opportunity there. To take a long. So if that candle had been coming down with a full engulfing candle like this one, or going up, but this coming down, and had a close strong, I'd be waiting on the reaction. But there would, in this case, I would have been probably looking at just tagging that and going for that long straight back up. Because we're building, if we have a look at here, we're starting to build a bit of volume in this area. So I suspect we'll start seeing the POC levels maybe moving down if Tokyo opens red. But we shall see. Let's see, look at these. Look, it's tagged it again. This is why if you can crack the volume profile, it's a really good, it's not so much a strategy, but it's just a really good way of reading the market. So if I was switched on a bit better, I could have maybe had a couple of wins already. So see how that's come in with volume. If that was there, I wouldn't have considered it. But see how we got the reaction straight off. But that has already played out. So I'm not looking for that move so much again. I would have been more looking for the move off there. And here we go. Yeah, we are. So we're in Tokyo. So this is. That's a second candle, second 1 minute candle in Tokyo. So I never worry about the first move because that's a sucker move. So it's these second and third sort of candles in the Tokyo range or the orb that sort of will dictate what we're looking at. What are we in? We're into the second minute. So we'll probably go back up, have a little bit of fun in between, and then we'll make our move up or down. And that's sort of there. I just want to see where we are when those moves are setting up to work out if I want to take a long off here or a short for continuation down. Sort of thinking, because there's nothing much down here, there's no real targets other than what have we got over here? So there's no real targets. There's certainly volume down here, which was Wednesday. But nothing is leading me to suspect we will keep going down. But who knows? I'm kind of feeling we'll head back up. But you just can't tell. Look at that candle. Far out. No volume in Asia, guys. Don't bother trading in Asia. That's what I keep hearing all the Americans. Oh, all you Yanks. Sorry. How big is that candle? Oops. How big is that candle? That's a good candle. That's 110.1 minute candle in Asia. Asia. And that's not the, what time was that? 7:40. That's not Tokyo Open candle. I wonder if there was some news, because that's a pretty big candle. So this could go overway still. Could still be some room to maybe test back up here, go down again. Only need 50 points. But I'm just, okay, so we've just finished our 5-minute orb, so we've set that up. What are we going to do? So what this is telling me, this is our range for Tokyo. I really don't want to trade here, and I'll be using this as our point of interest here, this previous day low. That's the closest one. My only concern is, where do I put my stop loss? So ideally I would want my stop loss above that, so that's why it's not. I was more hoping we'd be going up in here and testing up, because I would have my stop loss placed under here, for a long up to hit up here. But it did not work out, so we've still got some friggin' bears in the market, and they want to take it lower. They do want to take it lower. It's okay, that's okay. I'm not playing down here, I'm not chasing the falling knives, as they say. Alright, so we're still creating lower lows. So this scenario would probably be, my next opportunity will be, let's see if this makes sense. Just above the orb high there. Oh, shoot. Okay, hang on. I don't really want to play that game. That's 70 points. Wow. Okay. What makes sense? Maybe that. How many points is that? I'm going to have to open this up to 100. A bit more risk. But we've got the volume, so I just don't like my stop loss there. I like the stop loss behind points of interest. There's no obvious candle. Where's that friggin' in? Let's see. Yeah, kind of good. That's a bit risky. So I like the take profit. So back into the orb range, back into the previous day. I can't even read that. What's that say? Back into the previous week value low, which is very strong. the previous week points of points of interest are very strong, generally speaking. So that would be my target at this stage. My target entry. So bounce back into the orb, come in, and this, my experience, the orb center line is almost a point of interest as well. Once it sort of starts, it can start ranging around here. Not ranging, but building volume around here. Because a lot of people set their, if they use orbs, I don't even know if they use orbs in the Asian market, but certainly in the New York sessions, people do. So it just signifies once you're under the equilibrium, you're still bearish. All right, so it sort of makes sense to have my stop loss above this. Ideally, I'd rather it here, but I just don't like that risk. It's another 10 points of risk. So I don't really like that. But that would be my preferred option if it ever comes up. Are we coming up? Holy dooly. The bears are certainly in control. Which makes sense. Geez, we're at all-time highs still. What's the all-time high? Look at that. 782. Sheesh. That was the all-time high, yeah. Anyway, here we go. So we've got a bit of movement back up. So if this was a level, say this was one of these levels, I would have been looking at a long bounce back up, but it's not. So I'm not playing around these areas. I play around these areas. So let's see where we get to. We might just hit here and go down. And create a bit of structure between here and here. But ultimately, this will be my target entry. Whilst I still think we're in a, the bears are in control. Did I move that? 100 points. So I usually target 3 minis, 50 points, which is 250 by 3, so 750 a day, 3 contracts. And depending on how I play it, like this one, I'm going to have to probably consider. Okay, so that's good. The value low has dropped down a bit, so that's created a better opportunity for me to exit with a stop loss. So my stop loss, this is what I want. See how it's above the value low now? That's sort of, I'd rather be hiding behind a node like that. See this node here? I'd rather sit behind that because there's a bit of work to get through as my last resort. So I like, this is starting to look like a perfect trade opportunity for me at the moment. I'm within the orb, so I like, because I think we'll spend a bit of time in this orb, or if not, in between this orb and this orb, this sort of range is my feeling. So we've swept the weekly lows already. We swept Did we end up sweeping? No, we didn't. So there's a bit of opportunity. I think ultimately we'll start retesting back up here throughout the day, is my gut feel. But we'll see that play out. Now here, so I'd like a reaction straight off here. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'll think if I see this, I'm going to just set up a entry here, and I might even set it up now. Just a bit scared because there's friggin' a bit of volume there, so I don't want to be wicked straight up here. Although there is a lot of if I get too particular and just wait for reaction here, so it could blow straight through, so be it. But I think I might actually set up I actually think it'll go here first. So it might tag here. You know what? That's where I'm gonna enter. I'm gonna enter here. I'll probably get out here. If it goes through these fair value gaps, then I'm done. I'm cooked for it. So how many points is that? 90. Look, we might not even get there for a while because it has reacted at the fair value gap here. Again, if this sweeps, I'll reassess. But if this doesn't sweep this lower high here, sorry, this lower low here, I think this trade is still got the opportunity to run down. I'm going to set this trade up. I don't care. I do care. I really like this point here. So what is that? That's 29,095. What did I say? 29,095 for a... Now because I'm doing 100, basically 100, I'm just going to do it. Oh! Oh, dick. Okay. Oh, hang on, I'm trading on the footing. I was lucky. Evals 53. Shit, what did I get to? 29,095.
Order working.
My stop win is 29,117.
Order working.
That's only 25 points. That's alright. Okay. Wish us luck, guys. Got to break all this though. There's a fair bit of volume to get back up there. And look, this could very well just tag these little areas here and come straight down. In fact, I might do that. So I'll just so this is actually where I think it's going to go. Look, if it doesn't go up, so I don't just consider the entry, I also like to it's definitely coming lower. I prefer being above that. That's the only problem. Okay, so what I've done, I have changed, moved it down to just before the previous weekly value and previous day low, but I don't know if it's going to get up there that high. Actually, to be honest, I probably like this area better, but the problem is the stop loss. So whilst this hasn't been, we haven't swept this lower low, I'm still okay with this opportunity here, this trade setup here. If that sweeps that, then I'll have to readjust. I hope it doesn't, because then some of my points are not going to get, it's going to be a longer wait before they're testing, because I'm not playing around here. Anyway, let's see how we go, guys. What did I say it was? 89. I have a feeling we might just hit here and bounce back down. So we've still got our, what likes getting targeted is the VWAP. We're a fair way away from that, so I still think we're coming up here. It doesn't have to come up straight away though. Oh. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so met a couple of Americans at the sports bar in Manila. They were mainly watching, what was on? I think they were watching the UFC. I thought basketball and the NBA playoffs were on, but I didn't see any of that. I only saw the Aussie sports mainly, which was the AFL and the rugby league. So I was there. I hate rugby league. Bit of a boring game for me, but Americans seem to understand it a bit better because I guess it's a bit more like your NFL. But I did convert my friend Charles. That was last week actually. Met a cool. Where was he from? Is he from Texas? He's from California, but I think he lived in Texas, and then he's moving out to Philippines. So he's a good boy, big boy, bloody hell. I converted him to Aussie rules. He really enjoyed it. Had no idea, which was fine because no one bloody half. There's some rugby guys that got no idea about AFL. But yeah, that was a while ago. When was that? That was Anzac Day. Anzac Day in Australia's got a really big AFL game, 100,000 or 95,000, whatever, at 10 between two traditional old clubs. So we're watching that. That's probably our biggest home and away game. Anyway, no one knows what freaking AFL is, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. But I get on well with the Yanks. I have a bit of fun. You're easy to take the piss out of. If that's an Aussie way of saying, I don't know if it's universal, Aussie way of saying, good to just mess with a bit. That's a good vibe. Anyone who's been to Manila or Philippines in general. So I suppose there's a few questions. Why the hell am I in Philippines and not Australia? That is a good question, actually. How do I answer that? Australia's getting a bit expensive. The politics annoy the hell out of me. And I felt like a change. And I wanted to set up this, my trading. So I've been back and forth for a couple of years. My wife's still in Australia. She comes out she's a teacher, so she comes out every couple of months. But we've got dogs and some kids back in Australia. So my wife's wants to be around all that, which is all fine. And the dogs are too hard to... Like, the kids are a bit older now. They're doing their own thing, so now's the time to do it. So I thought, what the hell? I can live here cheaply, do what I do, and live off what I make, which will go a lot further here than Australia. And the idea is, I'm building this so I can travel. I want to travel. Me and my wife want to travel a bit, so I have a base set up in Australia. I have a base set up here, Asia, and then do a bit of traveling through Europe. And that's the beauty of trading. Trading, you can do it anywhere. Here we go. So the point of control has now shifted right down lower here, as you see. So we might not even get back up here for a while. Certainly going to go up here. I firmly believe it'll go up, but might not be for a while. And I just don't want to trade these ranges. I want historical points of interest, not the current session points of interest. And we're starting to build that now. So today's not looking great for a trade at the moment. Maybe later on. These were our opportunities and I sort of missed them, which is a bit of a bummer. These are our opportunities up here. I was a little bit hesitant. AJ was a little bit scaredy cat. But you know what? This is my day for learning how the hell to use friggin' YouTube live and run this. Anyway, yeah, so why Philippines? So I took the opportunity to set up, get out of Australia, get a bit of a fresh lease on things and concentrate on some trading rather than being in Australia. I wanted a bit of a change. So I've come over here. I can stay in the Philippines as long as I want. I looked at Vietnam. I looked at Thailand. I wanted to be close to Australia because, well, as close as anywhere. Australia's in the middle of nowhere if you have a look on a map, as most people probably know. But it's only 8 hours direct flight to Melbourne. And there's a lot of good spots in Asia. So when my wife comes over, we go to Vietnam, we go to Thailand. We want to go to... I haven't been to Japan. I want to do Japan. So leading a trading life is the best sort of thing to get into if you like that sort of lifestyle of traveling. Which is good. Anyway, so I got a special visa where I can pay for it, but I can travel to and from Philippines as long as I want. So I've got my base set up in the Philippines. Why did I choose the Philippines out of Bangkok, or the islands in Phuket, or Phuket Islands, or the islands in Thailand, Vietnam? You know what? The main thing is I couldn't be bothered learning another language. They speak really good English here in the Philippines, so that's the main draw card for the Philippines. They speak better English than some Australians, I think. Especially if you hear some of the bogan, rednecky sort of English that's been spoken in Australia. The Philippines is a breeze. They can't understand a word I say, but my accent's a little strong, I guess. Hopefully it's not too strong for you guys. But yeah, the main reason was cheap lifestyle. Where I am, it's called Makati. It's like a main sort of center city in Manila itself. Very cosmopolitan. Oh, cosmopolitan? Is that the right word? It's got a lot of expats. It's not too expat-y. It's got a bit of a local vibe where I am. There's areas though in the Philippines. Look at this. It's just wants to stay bearish, doesn't it? But like I said, whilst we haven't swept this area, I'll still consider this trade. But I'm a bit more watchful now because it's reacted off these points lower. And as we see, the POC is building strength in here. So not as confident on it coming back up here for now, short term. And to be honest, there's no point in me even having these now. I'll keep them there just for reference points. Yeah, and it just makes a difference. Like, I travelled a bit in Vietnam. I really like Vietnam. I love the food. I love the food in Thailand even more. But just that language barrier. And Thailand's is a bit more seedy, which doesn't worry me, but I like a bit of edge. Pacific Edge, that's why we're the Pacific Edge. And I think, like I've said in the past, one video, I was thinking of calling our little community Edgies, but it sounds so sticky, I think. Sounds very dicky. So I need you guys to come up with a better name than that. The channel's PacificEdgeTrading. But what are we going to call ourselves? Yeah, so we're really starting to build a bit of... See how we're building all this strength and value here and volume and... So this is starting to get stronger in here. And the further along the day, these areas, these points of interest are going to be getting stronger. So it'll be easier, some easier points of entry. Still, I don't really trade these areas. I'll still prefer to trade our historical points of interest. What are we doing now? Discard. What am I trying to do here? Oh my god. Anyway, stay there. I'll still be trying to trade these areas rather than the developing volumes, even into London, whatever. You can certainly do that. And once you get a bit more confidence and whatever, you can do that. But whilst I stream, I probably won't be doing that. I might do some sneaky little trades when I see the right setups outside the stream. But that's the whole point of doing this stream. I don't want to do that. I want to actually just maybe start getting a bit more discipline in my trading day. What's the time? How long have we been going? Oh, we've been doing 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours and no trades. Boring conversation. My nasally, boring Aussie accent probably turning people off. But bad luck. I'm not doing it for you guys. Well, I am, but doing it for me. I'm being selfish. I'd still like to just see... What's the time? I want to probably look at the China Open, which is 9 a.m. my time, 9 p.m. US time. So when I say US time, guys, I know you're a big country and you've got your Central time and your Western time, or Pacific time, or whatever that's called. But guys, I'm gonna, because I get confused with time zones, so I'm just gonna use the New York session. So whenever I talk US, I'm talking the New York Eastern Standard Time, because it's very easy for me to convert at the moment. It's basically just 12 hours. So 6 a.m. here is 6 p.m. there. 9 a.m. here. 9 a.m. here is 9 p.m. over in New York. So I'm a simple guy. So guys, for those that are got a bit more that have probably got a bit more risk, open to a bit more risk. It's still only a couple of hours old, but it's starting to build that point of that point of control, that session point of control, that you can start sort of making some decisions. Not so much off that yet. You could, because you've got a bit of a... I'm not doing this. I'm not taking this trade, but we're still looking short. I'll work out why that keeps... Why doesn't it stay 50? Maybe you need to go to 100. So 100 is using, like the way I figure, I do 50 is one contract, 100 is two contracts, 150 would be three contracts. I don't really do 150 contracts. I will usually do one or two That'll happen there. Are we back, guys? Are we still going? Yeah, I'm still going. Yeah, so see, that's not a bad little setup there. And I'd probably like that node there. Maybe there, maybe. But I would really like to keep our stop loss above that candle. And then we're just trading 100 pips there. So that's not a bad scenario. It's got to get through a lot of volume, so you got a bit of a buffer there. But it starts to get risky though. That's why I don't like doing it, because look, that would, in a perfect world, that would be perfect. We've got to, can't see, I've got my glasses, but we've got a bit of a, that's going to take a bit to get through. So you've got that buffer, and the buffer is up to here. I would just do it just slightly above that candle there, because you've got a fair value gap above it. So you might just get a tag in there and you might come down. So you've got a chance to stay in that trade. But very good chance that this might hit here and just go vroom, straight through. Because it's not strong as these entry points. The previous weekly, the overnight values, they got a lot more strength behind them, so you got a bit more confidence with them. So every now and then I will do these trades, but they're not A+ setups. So I'll keep going until 9 o'clock. I want to see what Asia does. I want to see, sorry, not Asia, but China Open does. There's been I don't mind on a Monday, because there's a lot of shit happening in the world, as we all know. So Monday is a bit of a litmus test of the weekend, of how the world's thinking. So you can use that to your advantage. So at the moment, we're definitely in a bearish pattern at the moment, but we're coming off a week of highs, all-time highs. So it's not drastic. All we've gone down is 600 points from all-time highs. So I think we're going to range, whilst we might stay low and go lower, I think we'll come back into this area and retest these Asian opening sessions, because that's what Asia likes to do. It likes to sweep the highs, the Asian highs, and sweep the lows. It's already done the lows, so it wouldn't surprise me to go straight up. So that's why it's a bit more of a risky trade. But if we don't sweep here, I still think it'll come up. This is my plan. So it'll come up. So it'll come up into here initially. Maybe come back down low. Maybe sweep here again. And then it'll come back in here and do whatever it wants to do. If that makes sense. That's my sort of plan for this session, the rest of this session. And we'll see what happens when China opens. Oh my God, I've just realised I've got no shirt on. Sorry guys. I should have at least covered my nipples, shouldn't I? Whoops. This is how I trade. I trade with my, you know what? The thing I'm going to have to get used to is trading with a shirt on. And did that just sweep? No. And no music blaring. I'm so used to having my music going, walk around half naked. So I'll have to get used to that. So guys, if I do forget, I'm not trying to sex it up, because as you see, I've got a 50-year-old Aussie body. It's not worth trying to look impressive on. And I can't be bothered going and looking for a shirt while I'm in the middle of the stream. So sorry guys. I'll make a note. Actually, I'm going to write that down. Put a shirt on. I'm so used to trading without a shirt, because it's friggin' hot here. Shirt must be worn. Oh my God, how embarrassing. Okay. How embarrassment. So, what are we doing down here? What are we doing? So, if we get a lower low here after the China Open, we're going to be spending a lot more time down lower. So these are definitely not in play, and they're probably not in. They're not in play now anyway. May as well get rid of them.
Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Order cancelled. Well. What are we doing? What am I doing? So that's sort of what I'm looking at happening. We'll stick around here. We'll retest up here. We'll probably retest the orb at some point, but I think we've got a bit of work to get through here. So I think we're gonna test this. I sort of want to trade just to do a trade for the session. Should I, guys? Should I? But I do want to now wait to see what China does. Look, China's not a massive... Tokyo's a massive opening that I will definitely sort of wait for. China, not so much. But being a Monday... Monday... from a pretty volatile time of year in the world, I was sort of a bit more hesitant to wait for China a bit, because I don't even know what I haven't got access. I've got my second laptop set up, but for some reason I'm having trouble viewing the news, and I've got Trumpy boy. I've got his what's his Twitter app called Social Blue or True Social, is it? Is that it? Anyway, whatever Trump's one is. So I sort of look at that a bit when I see some of this action, because there were some pretty big candles here. So I'm a bit blind as what's going on in the world at the moment. So China Monday, after a weekend of whatever's going on in the world, I sort of are a bit more inclined to wait and see reaction points. So as you can see, I am a bit of a conservative trader, which does keep me alive a bit longer in trades, etc. So I still like that point. It's got to get through that, because if that gets through here, then it's probably off to the next node, which may be there, and then there's a bit. That's why it's a bit of a risky trade anyway. That's why I don't really want to look at this at this point. I'd rather trade from here, these levels. So it's gonna maybe do a little reaction here. Let's see what it does. But look at that. If you had have done that, you're sort of halfway through. What did we say that was? It's at 30 point. Is it 30 points? I can't see my glasses. Where are my glasses? Yeah, sorry guys. I'm gonna be a bit boring. And just wait. But what I hope you're getting out of this is how powerful this is. The volume profiles are real. You know how you get wicked out a lot. Like even if you're doing support resistance, whatever. Like the market makers, they know those areas. That's where people are entering trades, setting their stop loss, and that's the liquidity. That's what us as dumb friggin' retailers, we are their liquidity, and that's what they want. So whilst what I like about volume profile is that'll all still happen. You'll still get your friggin' crazy wicks and whatever. But this is if you're in NQ, if you're then doing the NQ, you're on the chart, which has got the most, and where all the big players play. These volume ranges aren't going to change. This is where the auctions are taking place for their, where they're getting in and out of entries. This is where they're controlling these POCs, the point of controls. So whilst there's always going to be the opportunity, like things change, strategies change. ICT, that's starting to get a bit of a, because it's hard to trade doing ICT knowing ICD. There's so many things you got to know, and that gets played on by the market makers. So if I would rather know what the market makers are doing, and using these points of interest and historic, like the high time frame targets, I would rather use these to my advantage. So there's always going to be these opportunities and using volume profiles. So it's not going to go away tomorrow. It's not going to suddenly... It is a flavour of the month. I know there's quite a number of YouTubers now doing it, which is all fine. Good, great. The more of us that can make money off the market makers, great. But that's the beauty of like once you get to understand the volume profile, not so much as a strategy, but just being able to price read, being able to pick your entry points, it'll start becoming clearer and clearer as you do more of this. And like to be honest, I'm only really 4-5 months into it. So I'm learning, I'm still learning. I've got to go and do some more, because there's probably some really good YouTubers out there that are doing stuff like this. I probably need to research myself. Only one I've really seen is, I think it's Trader Dale, I think it is. He's got some really good stuff. I like his stuff. There's a Kiwi guy who seems to do a bit of, I can't actually remember his name. He's got some, I never seem to be able to catch him. He sort of goes live and I never see him. So he's got some stuff. There's a couple others as well. I probably should go and strengthen my knowledge on it, but I like to do things myself. I don't like friggin' copying other YouTubers especially. And I've sort of got enough knowledge in what I've historically got in experience to start making my own strategy. That's why I end up building my own tools, because I'm a bit fussy. Like I like certain things done a certain way. So my background is a programmer, so I can do a bit of trading. Programmer, web designer, so I've done a bit of all of that. So this is why I only try and target small little base hits. So was I entering here? Yeah, I was entering around here, bouncing down, and I would have been out. Straight away we've whipsawed back up, and it'll probably hit here. It'll probably hit here and test this. Maybe double top here and then come back down. So that would have been a good trade again. Fucking hell. Oh, excuse my French, sorry. That would have been a good trade even in itself there. To go off that, see the little point there? That was where the original POC was, but obviously because we've got a bit of volume down here, the POC has moved down. Again, that's why I don't like trading off these session POCs. But that's a strong point of at least moving down into this area for a bit of a little scalp. That's why I just go for little base hits. If I knew the direction was coming down, for example, in inverted commas, sort of up here, that's where I let runners play out. So I'll take 2 contracts, looking to take profit early and then let the runner go. So imagine that. That's some good coin there. If we have, look at that. Whew. Anyway, not meant to be this session. I have probably been a bit indecisive. I was more wanting to set up channel, the live feed, make sure I got that sort of right, rather than probably committing to trades. What time have we got? So 1 minute to Beijing opening. Again, I don't know if it's bloody Beijing or Hong Kong where the money is, but I just know if anything's going to happen, there's going to be a reaction on the hours. Those first 3 hours. So the Asian Open, Melbourne, Sydney, sorry, the Australian Open, Melbourne and, yes, so here we go. It'll be interesting to see what it does here. Melbourne and Sydney, 7 a.m. my time, 7 p.m. New York time. 8 o'clock for the 8 o'clock for, oh yeah, so it's hit there. That's interesting. So it's gone straight through. Next level to look at will be the opening orb here. Sorry, I've got to turn my phone off, don't I? Yeah, so that Tokyo Open is very strong. That's the strongest, obviously. That's the official Asia Open. And then 9 o'clock, I like to look at for Hong Kong / Beijing or whatever the Asian, whatever the volume producing open is. Those sort of times. I'm still predicting maybe a sweep down here first, then like this, like our little trade or our market analysis. That's what I'm still looking at, but it might not even come down. If China opens strong, we might have swept our Asian lows or previous week lows. Now we're heading up, I think, to test the higher markets up here. Sorry, the higher entry points, the higher ranges up here before London. And London's a different beast altogether. If I get to London, I'll sort of pass on my experience with the London, because it is different. Asian session, Globex likes to sweep low, then high, or vice versa. London likes to sweep the closest area and then choose a direction. Either continue in that direction or turn around and go the other way. In my experience, don't quote me. And you know what? I don't even know if that's textbook. I should probably look into that, but that's sort of what I find happens in the London session. Not an expert on London, so happy to hear any experts out there that got more experience trading the London session. But that's sort of what I look for when I'm trading. So what the hell are we doing here? Where are we? So we've tagged up here. We're coming down. Actually, so what's the time? So we're in China now. We're in the China Open now. Have I got China Open? I haven't got China Open set up. So 7 a.m. that's the Australian. I could make that 20. What the hell is that? 2100. And this will be. Oh, just monitoring that. Just out of curiosity, nothing official here. What are we doing? We're at 9:04, so 1 minute left until that orb for China is met. So there's a bit of a range there. And this is purely the reason why I just like monitoring the orbs for the opening ranges for these hours, because I can just get a better picture of where we're heading. So I probably still like this scenario for now, but I would not be surprised if we make a higher low here somewhere, and we start heading back up. All right, so here's our China breakout range, which is 62 points. Look at that. 62 points in a 5 minute range. So it'll be interesting. So we've set the boundaries, and we like to monitor that. So we're definitely lower. So if that was starting to head back up, and it might still do it, I'm not saying it won't. If that was starting to head back up, I'd be more inclined to think we are going to go test these higher points of interest. But I think we've still got a bit of movement down here. Look, I know it hasn't been a great trading experience, but I hope you're getting a bit of value out of me passing on my knowledge, my experience, what I know. Bit disappointed I didn't take some of these trades, but if you don't feel it, you don't feel it. That's what she said. Okay, AJ. Okay, we're starting to... So see how the market makers like to do this. They like to push us stupid retailers into thinking, it's definitely going down. Here, set your stop loss here, set your target here, and bang, it wicks straight away. Everyone will be more experienced. People probably on the futures will be saying orbs are a waste of time, and they sort of are. But it just helps me visualize stuff, and people do trade them, and market makers like taking advantage of this. But if we did some ICT stuff and underlaid that with some stuff, all that would be coming at these points as well. So it's sort of how you read it. So see how we've got the orb, the equilibrium bit here. Well, equilibrium bit, but the medium. Whilst we're under that, we're still in a bearish sort of mode. If we come back up here and start breaking this, then we start to think. Then I'm starting to think. We're going to test these higher time frame points of interest. But if we stay under here and start hitting, I've drawn like a little trend line there. If it breaks that, we're still probably got a bit more down movement to do this, to sweep these lows and then head up higher. Because I think it sort of needs that to push into this area, these higher areas. It needs a bit more liquidity to do that. Here we're sort of in a bit of a a bit of a wait and see moment. So I think it's going to do one or the other, but I still think it needs it come down first, get that kick to move up. Does that make sense? I know I'm just talking to thin air here, but that's all right. I need a couple of these so I can go and get a couple of... I can submit to Apex and get some codes so I can help you guys with some free... I don't know how all that works, but hopefully the aim is to try and build a few sessions, show that I'm not scamming and doing all that to Apex and Lucid and Take Profit Trader, and try and get some codes and get some free accounts that I can give away. I don't know how that works yet. I'll have to play that by ear, but that's the plan. So it's reacting from the orb. It doesn't like... It's not ready to go under yet. It's not ready to target down here. And it's starting to look a bit stronger. Let's see what it... Let's just monitor how it goes through here. Which is... What is that? 29,000. What a surprise. It's right on a psychological point. 29,000. All starts to make sense, doesn't it? Once you get yourself into it. So I'm just looking, I was seeing if there was any Elliott wave action developing. Again, I won't go into Elliott waves, that's a beast in itself. I've spent a good bit of time in crypto using Elliott waves. Elliott waves are really, I find Elliott waves pretty good for BTC. BTC plays technical, so it likes the technical. Because the market makers are definitely in control of BTC crypto. All us little retailers have got no say whatsoever in it. So we fall for the technical obvious traps. So you can make some money in crypto still. No traditional boom market really took off. So the market... Crypto has changed a bit, but anyway, again, another topic, another day maybe. I don't know. I'm not really feeling a trade is going to come in this live session, so I might call it quits. I do hope you did learn something. Not just that Aussies are annoying. Aussies have got an annoying voice. Can't understand their accents. Hopefully you learned a bit more than that in today's live session. Tomorrow I have my cleaner come on a Tuesday, so if I do it, I could probably still do it. I'll probably still do a live session, but it'll be a shorter one, which is probably good in a way anyway. She comes at 9 o'clock-ish my time, so I want to finish any stream I've got going before then. So I might, I will do. I wasn't going to do one tomorrow, but I think I will. I think I need to practice because I'm not totally happy with my setup here. But anyway, good luck, everyone. For anyone who is watching, I think I still like my little scenario here. This is my plan. Come down, we sweep the lows down here. And get a bit of a push, and then we head up back into these areas. And the first area you want to be looking at is what's going on here. So if you're looking like if it's really pumping straight through, just wait, hold, right? Don't just tag in, because you see how these candles can go for a whole, your stop loss straight away. Just play it a bit cautious there. If it's building and building and building and building and building, then that's another story. But if it's pushing straight through, just hold off. Just wait to see it. But if it's just building, this is a great zone here to test initially, just a little short pullback. But if you do miss it and it goes through strong, look for a retest here, because if it goes through here strong with an engulfing candle, I presume everyone knows what an engulfing candle, like, where's my drawing tool? Like if it comes through, oh God, I'm going to be hopeful. Right, with strong action like this, I should have drawn it here, but on, say that's up here. Oh, let's do another one. If it's coming in strong and heavy like this, wait for the volume to settle down, retest back in here. You're probably going to look long. But if it sweeps, not sweeps, but if it just plays slowly, surely, builds a bit of volume here, and then just look maybe initially for a tag of here down for a 50 point. No, not a 50 point, but a 50 tick win. Or for those more adventurous, I probably look. It all depends. You'll have to monitor it, but these are the areas to look for. Now you know, these are the areas you start looking for reactions from. Anyway, guys, I hope that wasn't too boring. Hope you got something out of it. And I don't know how to end that session.